just in isolation, I'm not that worried about what the Turkey crisis. But I think that it is relevant here only because the market itself, I think, has a lot of vulnerabilities. And, you know, from valuation and from rising yields and tight policy. And I think that because it's vulnerable anyway, I think the Turkey crisis could be the thing that tips the balance, so to speak. You know, if we were to break, for example, in the S&P 500 below 2,800 again and be back in that same trading range, and the VIX would elevate just a little bit, the thing could take on its own sort of crisis feel, if you will, even if Turkey wasn't that big of a thing to begin with. You know, it's like the proverbial straw that breaks the camel's back. If you've got enough vulnerabilities, the last thing in might not be that big of an event, but it might be big enough. So I do think that it's worth worrying about and thinking about the possibility of this creating a little turbulence.
Jim, going to a point that Steve Leisman was just starting to make, what would the U.S. have done in the past if this lira situation seems to be getting out of control? And what do you expect the Trump administration will do, should do under these circumstances, when it seems like part of the president's point is, hey, look how much better the U.S. economy is doing than these other places. Look how much the pressures that we're exerting are having an impact.
Yeah, John, I think you raise a good point. Steve did too. I mean, if you think about one of the strategies of this administration, in some regard, is to create enough stress abroad that they have to come and negotiate a settlement on the trade negotiations. And I got to believe that's part of their strategy, is put enough pain on China, put enough pain on other parts of the world that they bring them to the negotiation table in a favorable way for the United States. And so I think, you know, President Trump could look at this situation very differently than past presidents might have looked at this, look at it more as something that has to happen for him to get something he wants done. And he might feel that the U.S. is invariant enough at this point, strong enough in its own right to withstand a mini global crisis that might help him get a victory of negotiation. So it does create a little different environment than maybe we'd have in the past, where we'd probably be working for coordinated policies to put this to bed.